For this recipe, you will need I already flipped it over. Minutes. Let it sit. Then put it on the grill. Cooking over an open fire. First, you have to start that fire. And you've got to get some coals. And once you've got some coals, you move the coals over to here under the grate. These are coals from last time. You stack your coals up under the grate, and they'll heat everything up without putting soot on your food. So over here, we start the fire. And you can see these big pieces of wood. Then I baton those up and then put them on the fire. When they make coals, I'll move them over to here. That'll be about 30 minutes. We'll split us up some wood with our baton. And our shake bolt splitter. Alright, plenty of coals there now. Time to reverse this. Oh, we did it. We got all this cement heated up. Ooh, that is hot. I think that's a lot hotter than when we cooked the hot dogs. Can you see that? Oh, that's just...
gallon Ziploc bag. These would probably fit okay in a 1 gallon bag. And then we're going to dump our brine in on top of that, the brine that we've had chilling. And we're going to seal this bag up, and we're going to let that marinate in the refrigerator for 12 hours and up. You can go up to 24 hours on this, but I'm just going to go 12, and I'm going to turn them over in the refrigerator once every couple hours to make sure we get a good brine. Okay guys, I've lit a fire in the firebox of my Kamado Joe Classic, and I've put a couple of chunks of oak wood on here for smoke. I have set a heat deflector on the low side on the right, and a grill grate on the low side on the left, and another grill grate up high on the high side on the left here. We are going to start this out. We're going to slow smoke these pork chops over here on the left over indirect heat, and we're going to let the temperature in the dome come up to about somewhere between 250 and 300 for that. In order to get our grill up to 250 to 300, I'm going to leave the bottom vent open there about 2 inches, and I'm going to close the top vent down about halfway until our temperature comes up. And once the temperature starts getting around 225 to 250, I'm going to start closing this down a little bit to slow things down to where we can stop at just somewhere on the inside of 300 degrees. I have taken our pork chops out of the brine, and I have rinsed them thoroughly with cold water, and I've patted them dry. We're not going to do anything else to these at this point. We're going to take these on out and put them right in the smoke. Okay guys, we're getting close to being up to temp. I got some good smoke rolling here, so what we're going to do is we're going to toss these pork chops on, and I'm just going to lay them over here on the indirect side of the grill with the bones toward the fire. And we're going to let these guys smoke until we get an internal temperature of about 135 degrees on these chops. And when we get to that point, I'll come back and tell you how long that took. Okay guys, 45 minutes to an hour or so is all I took to get these up to 130, 135 internally. The thickness of your chop and what temperature you're going to cook at is going to determine how quickly that goes. And I was running at about 300 degrees here. So we're going to take these off and take them inside and go to the next step. And when I close this grill back up, I'm going to open up the vents so we can get really hot over here on this side. Okay, for these pork chops, we're going to put together a little rub that is going to be 1/4 cup of chili powder, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and about 3 tablespoons of a coarse kosher salt. And I'm just going to use my whisk, and we're going to mix all that together. Okay, now that we've got our grill warmed up, I'm going to take some of this rub, and we're going to sprinkle it all over each side of this meat. And I'm just going to rub it in really well. Try to, kind of massage some of that into this meat with my hand. And then we're going to flip them and get the back side. And just kind of rub that in as well. And then we'll take these guys back to the grill to finish them off. Okay guys, we've got the Joe running nice and hot over here on the direct heat side, so we're going to bring these chops in. And we're going to sear these a couple minutes on each side until we get some nice char. We've been going about 3 minutes or so, so we're going to give these guys a flip. We may end up flipping these guys more than once, but man, that's looking really nice. Let these go a little longer. Almost done. After just another couple of minutes, these things are ready. So we're going to take them off the grill. I'm going to take them inside, and I'm going to loosely tint these in foil, and we're going to let them rest for about 10 minutes before we cut in.